Simon from simonwoods.com. They've both got 6 letters. They both begin with M. They both go consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. But apart from that, what do Merlot and Malbec have in common? I've got 2 Merlots, 2 Malbecs. Let's see how we get on. Chile. Actually, I've got 4 South Americans and a South African, so all Southern Hemisphere, but Casillero 2010 Merlot. Does it say regional? No, it just says Chile. Oh, it says Rapel Valley on the back. I was enjoying some Casillero sparkling recently, and let's see how we get on with this Merlot. Now this smells ripe, rich, and there's slightly baked berry and black currant, but at the same time it's got this leafiness, and I think if you ever try to get rid of that leafiness in Merlot, you're wrong. If you over-ripen it, you just end up with jammy berries. Here, maybe it is a bit on the ripe side, but it's still got some of that nice greenness in there. Once upon a time, Chile's Merlot included a large proportion of Carmenere. I think they're still allowed to put Carmenere in wines labelled Merlot, and it can be all Carmenere, but I think because Casillero do have a separate Carmenere in this range, this may have some in, but I'm not sure of the percentage. Doesn't feel like it's got any of that exotic oiliness of Carmenere. It's got this berry and leafiness. Smells good. Nice, ripe, rounded, fleshy style. Maybe a bit flashy and modern. Maybe I'd like a little bit more finesse in there, but it's got this cedary, slight vanilla edge from oak. Lots of flavour. Packs a lot of flavour into its bottle. Not many people would object to that. Not sure how much of it I could drink, but I do like that way in which that leafiness just freshens out the finish a little. Let's see how we get on in South Africa. Groot Post. Whereabouts are they? Darling Hills Road, West Coast. Yeah, wine of origin Darling. 1% more alcohol. Does this mean bigger, jammier, riper, less leafy? Let's have a see. Yes. Yes, it does. And they seem to have gone in an effort to eradicate that greenness. This has gone just over the top into that yeah, slightly jammy edge. What they haven't done though, which is quite good, is sometimes when people do ripen their Merlot like that, they then mash the pants out of it, and you end up with this dark, dead wine. Here, they've not gone over the top on extraction, it feels. So while I miss a little touch of that leafiness, I also like that little bit of it where it feels like there's going to be a little bit of drinkability about it. When I finish this, I might pop a dollop of the Casillero in to see what happens, but we'll do it by itself first. Yeah, it's got this rounded, slightly jammy berries. Oh, and the weird thing is that the more I'm swirling it, some of that leafiness is coming through, even at 14.5%. Now, I didn't notice it too much when I tasted it, but sorry, when I smelt it, but when I taste it, what I noticed is what I call the South African bake, that slightly burnt rubber type of smell, smokiness that tends to take over the wine. And so the finish I'm left with, I notice heat, the alcohol of heat, the 14.5%, and that smoky burnt character. It's not a characteristic I'm particularly fond of. The weird thing is this smelt okay, but I don't like the taste. Let's see how it is for an ever so tiny dribble of the Casillero. And yeah, it's like dark. Yeah, it's almost as if someone smoked chocolate. I don't mean sort of rolled it up with Rizzlers and all that, but you know what I mean. No, that smoky flavour just tends to dominate. Shame. Oh well. Let's try the 3 Malbecs, all from Argentina, I think all Mendoza. So the first one, it's Tesco's finest Argentinian Malbec, made for them by Catena. Doesn't say, it does say Mendoza on big letters on the front. So we're going 2009, 2008, 2007. Now, one of the weird things about Catena is Nicolas Catena, when he started on his campaign to improve the image of Argentinian wine, he didn't rate Malbec. The varieties he thought he was going to make a splash with were Chardonnay and, in reds, Cabernet Sauvignon. And it was only when some people in the winery said, look, what about this Malbec that we're getting? And now, I don't know, they've got a top wine, Nicolas Catena Zapata, which I think is a lot of Cabernet and Malbec in there, but then they've got a range of single vineyard Malbecs that are pretty good. So I'm getting dark blueberry, this lovely oily fragrant flesh, and it feels like it's going to be at once full of flavour, but it's going to have this refreshing edge too. It's got this violet character as well. It smells like I want to drink quite a bit of it. And it's got this lovely leafy tang, berries, black currants, and then the violets, and there's plumminess, but all the while this bit of spice hanging around in the background, and this floral character. It's got a nice mix of richness and freshness, and I mean, for an own label wine, pretty good. Let's move on and see how we get on with the rather famous Argentinian wine. Actually, when I say this is Malbec, it's not all Malbec. Clos de los Siete. It's Michel Rolland's. The Los Siete. Once upon a time, there were these 7 estates in one part of the Uco Valley, I think, owned by all under French ownership. And Michel Rolland was like the winemaking supremo who consulted to a lot of them, if not all of them. But each of them had a little bit of wine each year and would ship it into this project. And I don't know whether it still works like that. Anyway, the blend here, Malbec mostly, and then it's got 21% Merlot, 10% Cabernet, plus some Syrah and Petit Verdot. And it's now about 13 quid, but it's been around for, I don't know if it might even be something like the 10th vintage of this. And it started off about 10 quid and it's now 13 quid, which over 10 years isn't too bad. Two different faces of Argentinian Malbec here, and okay, yeah, I know it's not all Malbec, but the first one, put the accent on that slightly earthy, rustic freshness. This one is all about polish, and I actually prefer the earthy freshness. I want here it smells like someone's just like really taken lots and lots of care and almost over pampered it, and it's more like one of those spoilt child that's not been able to get dirty knees and have a few scars. So there's a bit of volatility here. There's this smooth plummy berry, very suave, very sophisticated, but it's probably got a sweaty bum crack. Did I say that? And I can't fault it for richness of flavour, flesh, spice, juiciness. It's got this plumminess. I actually just prefer that rustic freshness of the previous one. It almost seems like Argentina wants to make wines to impress people rather than things that actually, yeah, impress, but you can't touch them. They're almost too perfect. I actually like a bit of dirt in my wines, and maybe there's not quite enough dirt in that one. Let's see whether there's dirt in the final one. Trapiche's Colección Roble, Malbec 2007, again from Mendoza. It's funny, this feels younger than the Clos de los Siete, or more backward maybe, and it feels like it's got more in terms of its rustic, close to the earthiness with the Tesco one than with the Clos de los Siete. I like that slightly fragrant, punchy edge of earthy fruit. There's more of that floral character. Maybe I missed that in the Clos de los Siete, which felt all about polish and finesse rather than actually. This feels like it's a bit closer to the soil. But it's got that blueberry and violet freshness, which wasn't in the Clos de los Siete. What I don't know whether the oak is of good as of good quality as they have in the Clos de los Siete, but certainly the fruit flavours have a bit more life and passion. It feels like someone's left a little bit of joie de vivre in them rather than trying to come under my submission. So my favourite wine, actually my weird thing, my favourite wine in terms of it doing its job of those three was probably the Tesco one. The other two don't object to, but hey, Casiera looked good, Group Post bit disappointing with that smokiness, but if given the choice of any of these 5 to go and drink tonight, it would be the Tesco one. See you soon.